They got pretty much everything wrong. I've been looking at some of these Nintendo Switch leaks over the course of last year, and some of these people have been talking about basically a Nintendo Switch 2. There's been all sorts of rumors and speculation about Nintendo making a 4K console, giving it a solid-state hard drive, the idea of reducing load times and increasing visuals, or even maybe making exclusive games to the Nintendo Switch Pro. Well, today, we finally have a chance to see the Nintendo Switch Pro, and it's just a tiny revision. I'm definitely going to be buying this, I'm definitely excited for it, but after all the freaking hype, this is definitely not what some of the leakers have been claiming we were going to get. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and it's time to talk about the Nintendo Switch OLED because it's finally been confirmed. Let's look at the facts. Now, first things first, they just dropped this trailer, which definitely shows off the fact that this is a big ol' beefy boy. The trailer itself has actually been crashing Twitter a little bit, but hey, let's go over to the website and look at all the data. Nintendo Switch OLED model, available October 8th for $350. Now, this is one thing I was definitely wrong about myself. Like, when I initially heard a lot of the rumors and stuff about the Switch Pro, the first thing that came to mind is that it was something to replace the original Nintendo Switch. I own every variation of the Nintendo Switch Lite, the Nintendo Switch Original, and stuff like that. My theory was that they were going to basically retire the standard Switch and make only the Pro exist, make a better version on store shelves and make that $300, and this thing would get reduced price down to like $200 or something. Now, it's a bit more expensive than I thought it was going to be. It's coming out a bit later than I thought it was, but let's look at the features themselves. Let's see if this is really worth the price. 7-inch OLED screen, feast your eyes on vivid colors and crisp contrast when you play on the go. See the difference in the vibrance screen makes, whether you're racing at top speed or squaring off against enemies. Now, this is a pretty substantial size difference. Like 7 inches, that's pretty big. In OLED technology, this is what all the latest and greatest televisions right now are being built with. That's pretty dang cool. Like, I'm definitely back in the phase now of playing my Nintendo Switch on the go, or what I've been doing a lot of, as dumb as it is I'll sit at this desk and I'll put on a live stream on the freaking computer monitor, or I'll be playing Final Fantasy XIV on my PlayStation 5 and I'll get in queue for a dungeon, and then I'll play my games right here with this. Like, I'll just literally wait for something to happen in the game, or I'll be chilling out. You can see right now I'm playing Bravely Default 2. It's nice that I can do both simultaneously. Well, the bigger screen, that definitely grabs my eye. Now, here's the stuff that's a bit more, whatever. Wide adjustable stand. Okay, cool. Obviously, right now we have the little teeny tiny Nintendo Switch stand. So now we're getting a real stand. Whoop-de-doo. That's, something you gotta advertise. Built-in wired LAN port. Yes, baby, yes. I never bought the Nintendo Switch upgrade that lets you wire directly to the internet. I've always used the frickin' Wi-Fi. Nintendo Switch Wi-Fi kinda sucks. Not terribly so, it definitely works, but having built-in wired frickin' LAN, yes, fast internet, baby. Now, look, the main reason I love this is for faster downloads. I'm constantly downloading games, buying stuff off the eShop, trying out weird indies and stuff like that. Instantaneous stuff, because I have incredibly fast internet. It's nice to be able to LAN and connect. This is pretty rad. Here is the thing that, personally, it's so shallow. I actually think this is great. 64 gigs of internal storage. Save your games to the system. So this is double the size of the current Nintendo Switch. Current Nintendo Switch comes packed in with 32 gigs. This is 64 gigs of internal storage. That is a big ol' beefy boy. Also comes with enhanced audio. Now, this is the thing that I didn't even consider when we initially were talking about the Nintendo Switch Pro, but it actually makes sense. For these tinier systems, it's difficult to put very good speakers in them. Like, just the physical real estate on the systems themselves is so tiny, you can't put large-sized speakers in it. It just doesn't work. So now having a bigger system for bigger audio, totally, I'm definitely down for it. Now, I feel like this is the biggest thing that they're trying to really kind of emphasize with the Nintendo Switch OLED, is just the idea that this is supposed to be the latest version of the standard Nintendo Switch. The Pro that talks about a next generation of Switch, that's not this. Now, let's just be brutally honest here for a second. This is a good system. People are going to buy it. People are going to love it. I think it's going to probably sell, 10 million units at least, because everybody loves the Switch so much. but I think this is also a bit of a lesson to temper our expectations. Some of these leaks and rumors, some of these videos I personally watched myself, were people claiming just the most outlandish, insane stuff, just absolutely bonkers leaks about what the Nintendo Switch Pro would actually be, from, extended battery lives that were going to be able to do 2-3 times as long, the ability to have gigantic games from the PlayStation 4 like Resident Evil Remake playing on Nintendo Switch Pro. There was so much talk that just turned out to be smoke and mirrors. And so I'm making it a point here, I'm not disappointed by this. I'm not going to be one of those freaking gamers who's like, oh man, this isn't what all the leaks said. While it's true that we didn't exactly get the super system that was perhaps being rumored in a lot of these talks, what we're getting here instead is still freaking great. I'm still excited for what this actually is, and I'm definitely going to be picking it up. It seems like the best way to play Nintendo Switch games in handheld now, which to me is all I really wanted. A better way to play Nintendo Switch games, to me, that's pro enough. I will say this. I do hope that there is some sort of visual model at some point. I do hope that there's something that can actually make it where things are a bit cleaner, a bit higher resolution, maybe a bit better at just trying to run things at a stable frame rate. Right now, Nintendo is very, very good at making sure their games are actually pretty dang beautiful, from great art styles to big vistas. They're good at what they do, obviously, right? That's why they're completely killing it to the industry right now. But I want to see some of their more crazy experiences, like Age of Calamity. There are sections of that game that just go down to single-digit frame rates when a bunch of explosions and chaos are going on, or you're trying to play it co-op. So I like the idea that perhaps someday we will actually see a true Nintendo Switch Pro, or a successor to the Nintendo Switch. If anything, maybe it's time for Nintendo to sit down and start thinking about what the next Nintendo Switch is going to be. Is it time to start discussing the Switch 2? Well, what do you think about this? Are you disappointed? Are you excited? Are you somebody that's been waiting for the next Nintendo Switch, ready for the perfect version of it before you get in line and pick one up? Tell me your thoughts on the OLED. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts on the OLED. Tell me your thoughts on the OLED. Tell me your thoughts on the OLED. Tell me your thoughts on the OLED, and if you think this is a positive change for the system itself. And I'm curious to read all of your comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, keep dreaming. Man, what a hell of an 8 a.m. announcement. Can you imagine waking up and just being like, you know what? Time to post violence. Time to really stir up the internet with an 8 a.m. announcement of the Nintendo Switch revision. This system is, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Are you? Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.